Same look, except shorter here, and then trim up around the ears a little bit.
Oh, really?
What did we do last time?
Yeah, we did a flip that.
I'm pretty sure the first time I came in, some lady messed up, and then my mom was not happy, so then we came to you.
When Mike Brock was this tall, yes.
I don't know if I've told you, but there's this saying that they called me in Vancouver called the flow. I gotta show you, actually.
I kind of want to see it, actually.
I haven't even, I forgot to tell you before.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. These are the shirts.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I smoked my dad once. He opened the garage door. I missed the upper right corner. He opened it right as I shot it with a real puck, and I smoked him like right in the stomach or something. I just heard a scream, and I walked inside, and he was on the stairs in pain.
Hey, Brock!
Ask anyone who watched him growing up, Brock Boeser could always shoot the puck. He just wasn't sure he wanted to.
He wanted to be goalie. He would put on whatever he could come up with to make him look like he had on equipment. This was like when he was 3. And then there he'd stand in front of the net with this big goalie stick that he had somehow.
Honestly, I have no idea where it came from. I just loved the butterfly when the goalies would go down and the pads would be perfect.
And now with an opportunity to win it all for the Blades is Brock Boeser.
I can sit back and not try and help the team score.
Boeser, the right-handed shot, right down the middle of the ice, coming to the forehand, goes five hole and scores!
Burnsville, Minnesota is 30 kilometers south of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. While the state of hockey proudly proclaims its 10,000 lakes, it was on the Boeser's asphalt driveway where Brock learned to play the game.
Whenever he could put the rollerblades on and just go out and shoot, that's where you'd find him.
I think one time someone was showering and I hit the drywall where the bathroom is, and I think they felt it shake, so that's when they cut it off. We had to put one of my dad's painting tarps up.
That's all he did was go out in the garage and shoot pucks against his tarp. That's all he wanted to do, work on stick skills and shooting.
His athletic genes came from Father Duke, an avid athlete who shone brightest on the soccer field.
Sports was my major thing. Soccer, baseball when I was younger, hockey. It was fun when we were growing up.
My dad would paint during the day, and then he'd have to rush home and drive us to get us 30 minutes to this rink, and we'd always show up late. He was just a good dad. He was always there supporting me.
After every game, he would come up and give me a hug and a kiss. Every single game that we were together. That's kind of special.
So we went to Cottage Grove, and then played Cottage Grove 1 year, Burnsville 2 years, and then
In March 2010, Duke Boeser was diagnosed with the neurodegenerative disease, Parkinson's.
We've always been really close. That's tough to go through and watch. It's your dad and someone you love, and you don't want to see that pain.
I think Brock was kind of scared. He's worried I wasn't gonna not come back, but I think he took it more at heart.
It's been really hard to see the Parkinson's go in effect and see him deteriorate. Brock's been there mentally and emotionally for him. And I think when you have something that physically hurts you, the mental and emotional piece is more important than people think.
I was working at a restaurant. We had one in college, the oldest. Then I became a certified tax preparer and became a substitute teacher. And between the 3, I could make them all work.
If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here today. She's the glue of the family, and I could not imagine the stress levels that she had.
I would just pick up more shifts and make up the difference. And if Brock broke a stick, you pick up a shift. And yeah, so we just kind of did the best we could.
What'd you get?
CCM
What'd you get?
Vector.
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
On the ice, Brock continued to excel. In August 2014, he was named captain of Team USA for the Under-18 Ivan Halinka, an international tournament for the best players eligible for the upcoming NHL draft. On the eve of the competition, he received a phone call.
My buddies had a car accident about my first day I got to Europe, and one of my best friends passed away. One of my best friends was in like ICU and didn't wake up for a good couple months.
The single vehicle rollover claimed the life of his best friend, Ty Allier, and left Burnsville hockey teammate Cole Borchert in intensive care.
That was probably the worst week of my life. Trying to deal with the emotions and then not knowing whether I should come home or stay there. My buddy's parents that passed away told me to stay there, and knowing my buddy, that's what he would want.
With dozens of NHL scouts in attendance, Boeser scored 6 goals in 5 games, leading the Americans to a bronze medal.
He had a hard time. I think his outlet, his release was the game of hockey.
I remember coming back from the GM meeting. I stopped in and watched him play.
1:20 left in the period. Now into the slot. Boeser shoots. He scores!
He scored 2 goals, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy can shoot the puck.
Boeser led the USHL's Waterloo Blackhawks with 35 goals. But in the eyes of his coach, the most defining moment of his season took place off the ice.
The U.S. program had called and wanted him to go with the 18 team to the spring tournament. He says, I'll go, and I want to go, but I can't leave till our season's done.
My thought process was, I can't leave the guys that I've been playing with this whole year early for an opportunity for me. I think that's kind of selfish. It was a great opportunity, but it wasn't the right one for me at the time.
You're 17 years old, and you might not get a chance at a World Junior team because you didn't go. And to make that choice took some guts.
We are looking forward to a night of opportunity, renewal, and anticipation. So welcome for the 2015 NHL Draft.
We had been informed there could be many curveballs thrown because Brock was expected to go 17th to Winnipeg. And then I think it was the Boston Bruins. They picked a kid who was like 49th ranked.
With the 15th pick, the Bruins select Zachary Senyshyn from the Sioux Greyhounds.
Kyle Connor then ended up going above 15.
The Winnipeg Jets are proud to select Kyle Connor.
There's no way Boeser's getting to us. We're still like 13 more picks. We got a little bit lucky. At 19, 20, his name was still on the board, so we were excited that he could be there for us at 23, and he was.
Vancouver select from Waterloo of the USHL, Brock Boeser.
I think he's one of the top 10 talents in this draft. I think he'll prove that out.
The University of North Dakota is 130 kilometers south of the Manitoba border, a rare American exception where hockey is bigger than football.
Land in two-gate airport and meeting up with the coach and driving through out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, where are we? It's a Thanksgiving game and it's so sold out of 11,000 fans. And I was just like, I don't know how I can't play here. I kind of just fell in love with North Dakota.
I remember coming out to a captain's skate
Every time he had the puck and had a chance to shoot, I remember everything going in. And I went back to the office and told our guys, like, this kid can score. Sure enough, that ended up being the tale of his career here, that he was just an elite goal scorer.
There's Boeser with a steal in the DU zone. Boeser cuts toward the net, shoots and scores!
It's rare in college hockey to have a freshman on a team's top line, even more unlikely when that team is a national championship contender.
It was the best freshman year I've ever seen. You know, I've been fortunate to coach Oshie and Taves and some of those guys, but what Brock was able to do in his first year was pretty amazing.
Boeser scores!
Boeser racked up 60 points that season as North Dakota's CBS line dominated college hockey.
You had Nick Schmaltz. He's just elite vision. He finds guys, puts them in scoring positions. Brock obviously is an unbelievable finisher, and Drake Caggiula could do a little bit of everything.
Schmaltz for UND. Near side Boeser into the middle for Caggiula. Drops it near side Boeser. Oh, what a perfect passing play! There's a tic-tac-toe highlight reel CBS goal.
It had been 16 years since the school had won the national championship.
You know, college hockey's weird because it's one and done. So you have a bad game at the wrong time, your season's over.
The national championship is always on our radar. That's the main goal, and there's no other goals other than that.
1-0 with Boeser and Gartag. Boeser's got it.
Brock has 4 points in the game. Caggiula scores 2 goals.
Center to Caggiula. He scores!
When we scored our 5th goal in the national championship game, and I looked at Brad kind of down the bench, and we kind of had that little grin where we've been through we've had a lot of great teams here, but we hadn't been able to get over the hump, and still kind of get emotional thinking about it.
All the hockey guys, they kind of hang out together. They're kind of just a group. They all live together. And one of his teammates once told me that of all the guys on the team, Brock's the guy who hangs out with the most non-hockey players on the team. You know, just people he likes around campus, you know, he hangs out with them. So just a down-to-earth, good kid.
3 weeks after leading the University of North Dakota to its first national championship in 16 years, there was almost no one in Grand Forks who didn't know Brock Boeser.
I receive a text and I said, guys, who's Brock? And I said, Boeser. And they're like, what? Boeser? And I said, yeah, Brock Boeser. Who's Brock Boeser? He wants to take Bailey to prom.
20-year-old Bailey Bjorgi was a senior at Grand Forks Central High School.
Bailey contacted him through Instagram. She left a message on his Instagram.
Well, I met him on his Instagram account and asked her to be my date for prom.
She said, will you take me to prom or something like that? And it was her senior year, so I'm like, I've never been to prom either, so I thought if I could make her one day special, that'd mean the world to her and to me, that would be fantastic.
She had been asking that I want to go to prom, I want to go to prom. There just wasn't the opportunity. We had decided that we'd take a family trip to Florida, and if we're on vacation, we thought, well, maybe it'll just help so that she doesn't have to deal with the pain of not being able to go.
They were in Florida, I remember, and they were supposed to come home Sunday, and they flew back a day early so she could go to prom.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Hi, you want a hug? Nice to meet you.
He walked up, and the first thing he said was, hey, Bales, how's it going? And she just kind of melted.
He pulled up and said, Bales, what's going on? And I was blushing.
There were many times where I was asking him, are you okay? And he would say, no big deal. This isn't about me, this is about her, whatever she wants to do.
Bailey, your key is escorted by Brock Boeser.
I think Bailey's the most amazing girl. So for somebody to think she's as special as I do, it just touches me.
Just to realize the position you're in and to realize the position other people are in, and not everyone has opportunities like that, and especially her, she doesn't get the chances that, you know, maybe some of us kids get to have.
His sister, Jessica, has some disabilities with ADHD and a little bit of what's called nonverbal learning disability. She didn't get invited to parties or social things. I think he witnessed that.
How are you?
Good.
Why are you crying?
I'm just happy.
And it wasn't just like a one-time thing. When Brock plays an NHL game around here, he meets up with her in the stands after the game.
We went to Winnipeg and watched him. He actually came out onto the ice, and Bailey was standing there with her sign, and he flipped her his puck. And then she waved at him, and he's on the ice, and he waves back at her. I mean, who does that? He's an amazing hockey player, but honestly, him as a person, it goes way above and beyond what he can do on the ice.
What's up, man?
Paul's my brother. He'd always beat me up when I was a kid, so now I can beat him up, so it's pretty nice. Just had a little baby boy, so that's why I'm out here right now, to come see the little guy.
Hey!
Oh, hello, hello. I know.
How are you?
Hi. Oh, he's so small.
This is little Easton.
Easton.
Already decked out in his Canucks stuff. Who's here? Is your uncle here?
He's so cute. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna stand up. I think it's easier to rock.
Family has always been important to Brock Boeser. It's what made his first NHL game one of the most memorable moments of his young life.
Big moment for Brock Boeser and his family. National Hockey League debut here in Minnesota.
It was a proud moment for, I think, Brock, his family, you know, all the sacrifice that his parents made to get him to that position. Our media group thought it would be a good idea to, you know, get his dad involved.
He doesn't know you're here, Duke. So it'll be a big surprise.
We don't have a chance of getting to this level without our parents, so we'll let them take the lead here, and it'll be good.
Starting on right wing, I can't believe it, Brock Boeser.
I looked over at Brock, and you know, you could tell his face was red and he was tearing up, and so I thought, I can't look at him because then I'll cry.
Go get him.
Just seeing them up there reading my name and to get the start in my hometown was really special and one of the greatest moments my family's had to this day.
Boeser scores! Brock Boeser on the rebound! His first career goal!
Dream about this since you're a little kid, and you know, being able to play, you know, my first NHL game here in my hometown is, you know, it's awesome.
Brock's NHL debut had been the stuff of magic, but 7 months later, a reality check. Boeser would start his full rookie season as a healthy scratch.
The fact that I had a young player sitting there that was able to be honest with me and say, I'm not quite on top of my game right now. I don't feel quick. I'm a little tired through training camp. And for me to tell him that he wasn't going to play those first, you know, that first weekend, and we're going to try to get his jump back in his legs, it went a long way. And I thought, you know, this young man's got a chance to be special.
It's the first games I've ever been scratched in my life, so once I got my chance, I knew I had to make the most of it. So I was ready when I got that opportunity, and I think I made the most of it.
Here's a lead pass. Brock Boeser's in. He shoots. He scores. Boeser, one-timer, scores. What a rocket turnover. Boeser shoots. He scores.
And it's Boeser again. Brock scores. Brock Boeser.
Boeser with a chance. Shoots. Scores. Can you believe this?
The hat-trick game against Pittsburgh was a big one. I think it was a coming out for him.
Big Mo curls back. Looking for help. Boeser shoots. Scores. A hat-trick for Boeser.
He wants to prove that he's on the same level as, you know, some of the best players in the game.
There's one like Tampa where I went almost full ice, and that kind of shocked me. I don't know how I did that one.
Boeser turns and takes that pass, and he's going to go for a skate. Here's Boeser, shoots, scores!
Once I got 20 goals before Christmas, I was pretty shocked, and I think just my confidence grew.
Confident kid on the ice. It's impressive. I mean, you watch him at the All-Star game. I mean, any other guy, and I know for myself, and I'm a few years older than the guy, I would have been pretty nervous.
Here's Vancouver's Brock Boeser. 11.13, and he's moved into the lead.
He was pretty good against us, so yeah, I just remember thinking when I saw him shooting, I think I've seen that shot a couple times this year.
Boeser's got a shot. Does he ever?
It was so much fun for our family, though. And here's Brock, 21 years old at the All-Star game.
I mean, we couldn't believe it. We just couldn't believe that he was having such success. So it was just so fun to watch. It was a whirlwind.
As a rookie, Brock led the Canucks with 29 goals. He was a finalist for the Calder Trophy as the NHL's top rookie. And most importantly, he gave the Canucks hope.
No, I'm sure he feels good about the season he had, but you never would have known it. He's very humble, which you know, is one of the traits that I really admire with him, because it's hard to find in young players.
Along with the success comes new expectations, something Brock is familiar with, having experienced this after his breakout freshman year at North Dakota.
First year was pretty storybook. You know, he played super well and we won and everything. And the second year, some of the other top guys were gone and he had some injuries and some ups and downs. Our team wasn't quite as good.
He's probably going to have to deal with that this year, too. The Sedins are gone. He's going to have everyone, when they play the Vancouver Canucks, they're going to try to take away Brock Boeser.
I'm going to think back to that second year at North Dakota a lot this year and make sure I play my game and don't make it too difficult.
1 year after just hoping to make the opening night roster, Boeser is now a face of the franchise.
If you're a great player, they know how to handle success, and they understand that there's going to be times when maybe they're not having the success that they want, but they have to stick with the process.
I know not a lot of kids get this opportunity, so I'm just trying to make the most of it and stay humble.
I think there's a lot more to come in this life of being an adult. He may prove successful at what he's doing as for his job, but, you know, he's still Brock.
So what's the plan for this morning?
I had a big piece of cantaloupe. All right, you ready?